All right, welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about sentencing in federal court and how that differs from sentencing in, say, state court. And the number one question that a defense attorney is often going to get asked is, what type of sentence am I looking at? What's my sentencing range going to be? What am I looking at in terms of potential prison time, or what are the potential sentences available for me? And the first thing that you look to is the U.S. sentencing guidelines. And this is where federal court differs from state court. In state court, there are prescribed sentences. For example, in Illinois, there are prescribed sentences for a particular crime. So let's just say, for example, you're charged with a class 4 felony. You're looking at a probationable sentence, but you're looking at a sentence that can have a prison term of 1 to 3 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections. If you're faced with a class X felony, that's a non-probationable charge, and you're looking at a minimum of 6 years and a maximum of 30 years in prison. And so if you have two people that are similarly situated in state court that are faced with the same crime, they're more than likely going to receive a similar sentence. Federal court's a little bit different. Now, with federal crimes, every crime has what's called a base level offense. We're going to see that mapped out in the chart here shortly. But every crime is a base level offense. And there are certain factors that can either enhance the sentence, or there are elements that can create a downward departure that can actually lower a sentence. And the issue is that there's a lot of factors that can come into play as to whether or not the sentence is going to get enhanced or the sentence is going to have a downward departure. And actually, in the next video, we're going to go through a hypothetical example that will show you all the different elements that can apply and how a sentence can dramatically differ from one defendant to the next, and how if the facts are just tweaked just a little bit, it can have a drastic effect on the sentence as well. So take a look here. What you're going to see in front of you is a chart of the U.S. sentencing guideline. And this chart was created by the U.S. Sentencing Commission, and the purpose of it was to give federal judges guidance on how to hand out criminal sentences for the purpose of creating uniformity. This was created in the 80s by the U.S. Sentencing Commission. So if you take a look at the sentencing table, there's an x-axis and y-axis. On the top, you see the criminal history category ranging from 1 to 6. And what this basically means is if you've been arrested before, if you have multiple arrests or multiple convictions, you're going to be towards the right end of the chart. And if you've never been arrested, or if you have very little criminal history, you're going to be towards the left. Now, obviously, the lower the criminal history, the better. You want to be on the left side of that particular chart. And going up and down, you're going to see an offense level ranging from 1 to 43, which is what I was alluding to earlier. Every crime in federal court has what's called a base level offense. And when you go beyond that, there's enhancements and downward departures, and this is the chart that it all comes back to. In the next video, we're going to go through a hypothetical example. We're going to go through a fraud example and show you just how the sentencing guidelines work.